So I feel very strongly that I have missed crypto.
Yeah. So if you think of gold, right, you can own gold, everything from own Barrick Gold, which is a company that's in that business. You can own gold that somebody else holds for you, right? You can go own the physical gold and put it in your house, or you can own gold and put it in a safety deposit box and have kind of the most extreme, severe security setup in the world, right? Same thing with Bitcoin in the sense of there's many different ways to get exposure, right? So you can go today and you can simply use GBTC, right, with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and you can get exposure to the actual underlying asset, right? You can actually buy Bitcoin and you can hold it in a custody provider. So there's everything from BlockFi, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini. All these guys have kind of institutional grade custody providers. Then you can actually buy Bitcoin and you can take possession of it yourself. Most Bitcoiners are going to argue that you should take possession yourself. They like the self-sovereignty, they like the security, all that kind of stuff.
Now, what is it in here?
Yeah, well, so you can have, you can hold it on a wallet on your phone. There's a whole spectrum of ways to own it. What I always tell people is, if you know yourself and you say, there's no way that I know anything technical, you can just go buy and get exposure in a stock ticker, right? You can just buy GBTC. If you say, hey, you know what, I want to go kind of level 2, I can buy actual Bitcoin on one of these exchanges and put it into an institutional grade custody provider.
So GBTC is like GLD?
Exactly, for Bitcoin.
Really? And it's $11?
It's $11. There's a premium.
Why wouldn't people do that? Is there a VIG there?
There's a premium, and it can get kind of nasty at certain times. Like in the really, really obviously frothy times with Bitcoin, it can go up. But again, if that's the exposure you want, right, then you can just do it there. So it's kind of a spectrum of control. But I think the bigger thing here, when you compare Bitcoin and gold, you'll like this, I think, which is with gold. If I said to you, how much gold is in the circulating supply, you'll give me kind of a really close.
I suppose to 1% every year. So it's incredibly healthy. The shortage of gold right now is extraordinary.
Yeah, and you'll tell me, I think part of what the younger generation is realizing with Bitcoin is everything is provably scarce. So one of the big differences between gold and Bitcoin is right now, there's some guy somewhere who's digging through his field, all of a sudden he finds a gold deposit, right? It's not going to move the market materially, but it increases the gold supply, right? And nobody knows, and there's a latency of information, all that kind of stuff. With Bitcoin, everything is provable on chain. So I know every single day, and I can prove to you that 900 Bitcoin are getting created each day. Then I can prove to you on chain exactly 18,460,000 Bitcoin exist in circulating supply.
The $3 trillion that we printed changed everything that I believe in. And now if you told me, honest to God, if you told me that I should be buying lakes in Maine, because I would do it. I mean, I am so concerned. I'm not frightened. I'm not scared, but I'm concerned that I'm not being prudent. And I now think that Bitcoin is prudent. When the moment I make that move, my kids will not be able to touch this until 2030. Okay.
Of course.
So I'm certainly not trading. And I'm going to buy it in stages because I don't want to commit all at one level. But if you know you're not going to be able to touch something in 2030 and it's cash, well, believe me, that cash is not going to be worth what you think it is. And I'd like to think that I have analyzed the situation, but the $3 trillion that we printed changed everything that I believe in. I am so concerned. I'm not frightened. I'm not scared. But again, before what happened, before the pandemic, I would have had a nice conversation. That Bitcoin's kind of interesting. And it's not for me. I think that what really changed my mind was my daughter, my 26-year-old, saying, "Hey, Dad, how are we going to pay for $3 trillion?" And I looked at her and I said, "Well, we're going to have to raise taxes." She goes, "But Dad, what are you going to? There's not enough money if you raise taxes. So what happens?" And I said, "Well, we don't know what happens." And she goes, "But Dad, you're the guy." And I said, I'm not the guy. I have an idea, which is not a good idea about what will happen, which is bad. And she said, "Well, what can I do?" And that's when I said, "Listen, we're going to get you a house, get you some gold." And I did. I got it a beach house. I mean, all of these are designed for what I regard. It's not going to be apocalypse. It's just going to be not good.
Yeah.
And I want to hedge against not good. And I now feel I got a chance for Bitcoin because I'm not buying it at 20,000 using Maybe I am using a typewriter. Maybe I am using a typewriter. Go to my inflation handbook. What it says is buy gold, buy masterpieces, and buy mansions. Those are the three things that's it. In my age, okay? Those are the three things you have to do. Now, my wife's in real estate, so we've gone with the real estate as our hedge, all right? What we didn't have in that menu was crypto. And I think that you have to have, I'm going to still say gold or crypto because I have so much gold. But you have to have one or the other. And I like what you're saying about crypto. I'm not in crypto. Remember, I'm not in gold for the appreciation. I'm in gold for the alternative. But I don't know how my kids are going to pay down what happened. I think we had to do it to avoid a depression, so I'm glad we did it. But I see the dollar going down. And most importantly, I know that no one wants to raise taxes in this country. And even if we did raise taxes, we still can't afford it. We're not cutting Social Security. We're not cutting Medicare. We're on a collision course which makes me feel great about the gold I own, that it's perfectly logical to add crypto to the menu. It's perfectly logical to add crypto to the menu.